Hello, everyone. This is the Easy Allies podcast. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us this week, Michael Damiani.
How's it going?
Daniel Bloodworth.
That raisin intensity.
Brandon Jones.
I like raisins.
And Ian Hink.
You stole my joke. I was going to say I like raisins.
Yeah.
Nice. It's hard to get your jokes in with this crew, you know? We're all on top of each other. What's up?
Go.
Oh, I just heard, do you...
Actually, it wasn't do.
What'd you say?
It was stole.
What? From what?
No.
Like stole.
Yeah. You know, stole.
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 Let's play Recruit Me. This is where patrons of Easy Allies submit RPG characters to join our party.
How's our party doing, by the way?
We only have one extra member.
Okay.
So it's us and,
Wait,
and
it's just us
I
and
thought
Steve?
we had two.
us and Steve.
I thought somebody else was in there.
I thought one other one made it in.
Well, I think only one other person has ever survived the dreaded roll
Yeah.
on the podcast, but they weren't in our party.
Right, that's our
maybe-
nemesis.
that's
It's the
maybe that's
person who
why.
can see one day in the future.
okay.
Yeah. So Steve, Slytherin Steve is in the party.
So many bits, so many deaths.
Slytherin Steve.
Well, let's see if we can get one more. Let's see. So this one comes from the classiest hobo.
Okay.
I'm a wizard with a magical marker as a wand. I can draw usable items into existence. I am bad at drawing, and it is difficult to guess what I created and how to use it. My name is Marvin Parlance. Would you have me join this party?
So they can draw, but they're bad at it, and the things they draw come to life?
Yeah,
To help
so
us?
we get these like weird objects and we're not quite sure how to use them.
Right. We're like, what is that?
I'm imagining like an animation cell with nothing colored in. Like just like a squiggly black line.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
That's what we're picking up.
And the problem with Marvin is we can't understand his language.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and so like I feel like he can understand us, you know, because he tries to draw something that we could use,
Right.
but he tries to explain it to us. It does us no good.
And he's the only one who can use the marker,
Yes.
so we can't just, like, club him and steal it.
No, I mean like he can barely use it himself. Yeah.
I love it.
I don't see the drawback here.
Yeah.
You don't
I
see
would
the
agree.
drawback?
Too much of a
Yeah.
You have to
drawback.
figure out what to do with the stuff.
But it's not like they're going to hurt us.
Well, I mean, if he draws a
Necessarily.
sword and you don't know it,
in the
you
heat of
grab
battle,
you
like
could
it
get
becomes a
cut.
puzzle game. Mm-hmm. I don't want an added layer like that.
It'll confuse the enemies, too, though. And we can employ him strategically.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know, use him in situations where having some kind of crazy set of triangles that is supposed to be a horse won't cause us problems, but could confound and bewilder an enemy.
That doesn't seem highly strategic to me.
Oh,
How long
all
has he been
strategy.
drawing? Is this just like a lost cause? Is he never going to get better at drawing? Or like,
I feel like it's like my dad. You know what I mean? Like my dad can put some drawings together, but I don't think at this point he's ever going to be good at drawing.
Okay.
okay.
I would recruit.
Yeah,
All
do,
in.
I would tweet this at Kyle's dad.
he listens sometimes. My dad listens to the podcast
Wait,
sometimes.
your dad can't draw? You can draw.
What's up? You talking to my dad?
That's why he brought up his dad. He's unlike me.
Right. Oh.
Yeah.
Are we
You know.
recruiting your dad?
I mean, I'm not an ER
We're not
doctor,
recruiting my dad. He's not available.
But is your dad a romance option?
He is not. Okay. Marvin also not a romance option.
Okay.
Oh. Still in. He can draw me a romance
I
option.
think I'm in.
Ooh.
Jones, are you in?
I don't know. I'm on the
I
fence.
mean, I'm no too.
Okay.
So.
All right. He's
Okay.
not in. We need a unanimous
I'm way
decision.
nervous, yeah.
Marvin is out.
Things are
Sorry,
gonna be
Marvin.
weird used against us.
At the end of the podcast, we will see if Marvin survives to become one of our enemies.
Because they got to tell us, you know, like there's like an audition process. So if this person turns into a villain, like we know
No,
what
Jones,
they're
'cause
bringing.
if he makes a squid gun, what are you gonna do?
Can we get a bottle of Windex?
No, like what if he just makes like a little earthquake machine? You know what I mean? Like he could make anything with this, and
it
you
doesn't
turn him
sound
down.
like he can.
Ugh.
I have doubts.
Like if it does, does it because he says it's something it works like that, or does it have to actually like look
It's his intent.
like it?
It's his intent. The intent of the drawing.
So yeah, if some
Yeah,
like,
it'll
squiggly
work
looking
right.
thing comes out and it just doesn't look right, but it goes, that is a automatic gun. Not
Yes.
gonna work.
In Marvin's
it will
own
work
language,
like
yes.
an automatic gun.
Yes.
Okay, I thought it was
You
like
messed
not
up.
gonna work.
You might not
You
know
messed up.
where
But
the
it's fine.
front of the
Yeah,
gun
yeah.
is.
Yes.
That's it. That's a very good point.
That's a very
Bloodworth.
good point, Bloodworth.
Oh, it
It's
works.
a risk. It's a risk. Let's do corrections. Begin corrections music, please. Welcome to Animal Crossing is actually how that trailer ended. So a lot of people think that might be the title. I just
Nah, they did that with the first Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be called Welcome to Animal Crossing, but a lot of comments said it didn't just say Animal Crossing. It did at least say Welcome to Animal Crossing.
Fun detail.
Yep.
I thought about mentioning that, but yeah, I didn't think it was the title.
The reason why GTA 5 is always in the top NPD list. Oh, this is like a little life hack here. Ready? It's cheaper. I don't think this is the reason, but I thought this was a funny comment. It's cheaper to get GTA Online money by buying the retail version rather than buying the shark cards, and then you can resell that GTA 5 retail version that you just got. So when you buy the physical edition, you get a bunch of stupid pretend money. For GTA Online,
I see.
and then you take that game back to GameStop, you're
see.
ahead, buddy. Well, you're not ahead, but it's cheaper than buying the shark cards within the game with your credit card.
I see.
Isn't that nuts?
But wait, are they like a code in the package?
I guess so, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you have to. You can't return them for full credit if they're opened. You don't get your money back.
You don't get your money back,
You
but
don't
you
get-
get GameStop credit.
I mean, I get your point. If you open it I guess they said taking it back to GameStop, so the trade-in value must be good. Because if you just resell it, I know
I
people.
guarantee it's not. For GTA 5, you're like
Yeah,
trading
that's
that
why,
in.
that's why I don't get why you
yes.
go to GameStop. Like, I know people who I just want a special item in this game. I already have the game. You can only
Yeah.
get it if you buy a special edition. All right, I bought it. I took the special item off the back, but still, here you go on eBay. It's the game. It's new. Trust me, it doesn't have the code though. All right.
Oh, that's some dirty deeds.
But they're up front. They're like, it doesn't have the code.
But I
It doesn't have
mean,
the code, but
if
you
that's
want
the
game.
reason the sales are so high, why would people be buying
This-
the used copies? Doesn't make sense.
Nobody's buying used copies of
No,
GTA
these copies
5.
they're not counting that in NPD.
Yeah.
But the people buying them are selling them to somebody.
Maybe they're buying them and then returning them to Best Buy for full credit, just saying, "Oh, my grandma got me the wrong thing."
Best Buy, you should look into this. Pocket Card Jockey was the Game Freak game that I was trying to think of, where
Okay.
you have little horse racing. But you don't play poker, you play solitaire while the horses race. So it's not double gambling. Sega doesn't report digital sales to the NPDs, so it is possible that Yakuza and Shenmue would have ranked in the top 20 if Sega would report those numbers.
Crazy.
Yeah. And corrections, please. Not a lot of the left. I think it's like Sega and Bandai Namco and Nintendo right now are the holdouts for not reporting digital sales. Hey, come on, just report them.
Yeah.
What do you got to be scared about? Let's see. We'll be happy for you. Let's do some news. I want to do this story first because it's not bad news. Let us talk about XO18. This was just announced. This is an event to celebrate the Xbox and all things Xbox. It will be held in Mexico City this year. November 10th through 11th is when it's running, and there will be the largest inside Xbox ever. It's running from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. DFCT on Saturday. What is DF?
I
What
don't
time
know,
zone
but
is
that's
that?
Central Time though.
Oh, okay. Oh, CT, right. I wonder what DF is. So that's
Definitely Central Time.
So that is a 2-hour Inside Xbox. Inside Xbox, I think, is weekly. It's something that Xbox does every week. It's streaming. Like, hey, here's what's coming up. Let's just check out this thing.
breaks and stuff though.
Okay.
I don't think it's every week.
Cool.
But
But there's never been a 2-hour one. Well, what was Gamescom? How long was that one?
Gamescom was long.
That was not
dude.
short.
Yeah.
Them telling me that it's going to be longer is not a sell.
Yeah. Because,
that?
right, 2 hours to me kind of insinuates that kind of Gamescom-y pace, actually. That thing was long at Gamescom. Was that an hour and a half?
Probably
It felt like it was 2 hours. It
Yeah.
must have been,
It seemed like
must
it
have
was
been
long.
Close.
Yeah.
also gonna be those. I'm just interested. They're gonna be those funny cues again. Like let's check, like mentioning the B-roll, and then they don't show it again. That was like one of the funniest things I saw. I thought it was just
During
like,
Gamescom,
wait,
yeah.
what?
Yeah.
You can't do that.
So this is a big Xbox event. There will be fans there. It is basically the fan fest of this year. It's interesting they're holding it in Mexico City. It is an interesting thing to announce to me. Bloodworth, we talked about this a little bit before the podcast. Bloodworth very confidently says, I bet they're going to show new hardware.
Oh,
In
yeah.
November, Bloodworth.
Yeah, hinting at new hardware. I don't know how much they'll show of it.
They already hinted, man. The hint's out.
But that's what I mean. But I don't think we're going to get like a full giant blowout. Mm-hmm. They talked about showing, announcing first-party and third-party titles.
Right, I
there.
should have put that in there. Yeah, there
Yeah.
will be announcements in those
Yeah.
2 hours.
And they talked about the fact that like this used to be a show that they did every year. like last decade. And what I think I was looking up XO6 or XO5, I think, is when they showed like the full 360 launch lineup. So it's been a significant event in the past.
Wait, XO5. So here's
Or
what
was it XO6? One of those.
It may have been, but yeah, because 360 launch up.
Yeah.
It was probably 06. I remember like MTV covering the Xbox 360 launch.
Right.
That thing was nuts.
So that happened first, and then
Yeah.
there was the XO6 event.
Oh, to have the
360
full
came out in
thing.
2005.
It was 2005.
Yeah, and there was XO5.
Yeah.
And XO5 was
And then
the very
Wii and
first
PS3
ever
is
one.
2006.
Yeah,
Yeah.
XO5
Yeah.
was the very first one.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Damiani. Thanks for fact checking that. So Bloodworth, do you what are they going to show? Like a game? Do you think we'll see a game running on next gen hardware or hypothetical next gen hardware?
I think we might already have
What is that supposed to mean?
the Halo Infinite. Like, that was really vague and cheeky. And
Blood, every time I bring this up, I get 5 comments insisting that was Xbox One hardware.
sure.
Because they're saying this game will come out on Xbox One. Don't
It
worry
will
about it.
come out on Xbox One hardware, sure. That doesn't mean that's what we saw.
Sure, yeah. I think it might be an Xbox One X. I'm not sure. You're right. That we may have already
here's
seen
the thing.
it. Yeah.
If this hardware is not backwards compatible, like, Microsoft are fools. What are them wasting all their time with?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it is for sure. It
Yeah.
is absolutely for sure going to
So
be backwards
I
compatible.
feel like a lot of the launch lineup is going to be, playable on Xbox One.
Yeah.
Like, there are going to be games that, like, you just put the disc in whatever system you own.
I'm looking for that Watch Dogs moment. It sucks because Watch Dogs turned out to be mostly fake, what they showed. I shouldn't say mostly, but largely. I want that. I want to see that at XO18. Is that unrealistic to expect?
I don't think so, but I think we'll have to see with how the weeks go leading up to it, like how much of a big deal they make about it. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like in some ways, like today's announcement, I mean, it was there, but it wasn't like a huge get excited about this, right? It was another episode of Inside Xbox, and Phil Spencer's talking about, hey, they're just sitting in a studio, talking about
That's
this.
where they made the announcement?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was just checking out their press stuff. Got it.
We didn't know what console Watch Dogs was on, though.
That was the fun part, John. So
Yeah.
they're like, we won't say.
Well, but that takes the fun part out of it. If it's an Xbox event and they're like, here's gameplay of a new game that is going to be... That sounds extremely unlikely.
Really?
Yeah,
I
to
love
me.
the wink wink. You remember Star Wars 1313? That was the wink wink. There's just
Yeah.
like, yeah, but we can't say what consoles this game is going to be on. That was so fun. You don't think they'll do that?
There's no mystery. It's like, if I don't know what console it's running on, it's the console you haven't announced yet officially.
You're right, because
So
it's
it's not like it's at an
Xbox-only
EA
event.
event
Yeah,
or
I get you.
something Ubi is doing.
Well, another weird thing about it, they announced that they're doing official mouse and keyboard support for Xbox One with a partnership with Razer, and they said that, and Razer's also saying that they're going to have more to show about that at the XO18.
More to show.
Yeah.
What
else is Razer
exactly
going to have?
That's fun. Like, what more could you possibly show
Yeah.
other than a mouse and keyboard? So yeah, that's fun. I mean, they got to fill 2 hours. I don't think it's going to be all killer, no filler.
Oh, there's going to be filler.
Yeah, exactly. But there might be some pretty big announcements coming from Xbox this November. So yeah, it's that might be it, man. That might be here is Scarlet. Xbox Scarlet. Damiani, no signs of PSX yet.
Correct.
What's going on? Is Xbox coming in and eating their lunch?
I mean,
I think so.
yeah. Oh, I don't know. My theory is that basically Microsoft knows they need to be proactive, and I think they know they need to be ahead of Sony with whatever is happening next. They will have an advantage if they can get out faster.
Yes.
Definitely. They will definitely help them out. I don't know if this November event is going to be like the big blowout.
Right.
I feel like it may more be about, hey, we are just doubling down. We are working on new hardware. Very soon we'll be ready to show it to you, but we've got other big announcements to talk about. Maybe they allude to some partners that will be involved with it, but I think it's going to be more about studio announcements, like, hey, we've got new studios working for us, or we've acquired new studios, like big first-party games. Like, that was kind of the thing at E3, is like, we're doubling down on gaming. That surprised me. Like going after all these studios, we want to scoop them up. We want a stronger first party lineup. We're kind of tired of being poked fun at by everyone. Like, where's your first party games? Like, why can't I do that? As to your question about like Sony, I think most everything about Sony is known right now, and I don't know if it's enough to get people excited about having a PSX, because you got The Last of Us 2, you got not Sekiro, Ghost of Tsushima, and you've got Death Stranding, or like their three big, like the
Days Gone
and Days Gone. Yeah, those are your big ones left.
Dreams.
But they've done a lot of
no release window at all for Dreams,
of those,
though.
Death Stranding, Last of Us, and Ghost of Tsushima, the ones we like. I think people really want to see a lot more gameplay.
Yeah.
Show us this in action.
That was their E3. That was like their Trinity
and
of
this
E3.
could be like PSX could have those 3 games, which would be a big deal. But I don't think they have anything else to announce yet. I think it's too early for them. I think they would rather wait a little bit longer when the timing might be better for them to announce, hey, we can't do PSX in December because we have an event scheduled possibly later, maybe next year, maybe in the early half of next year, to announce, following what they did with PS4, we want to announce a new console at our next event. If we do PSX, we don't announce PS5, we just have 3 or 4 games there and no big announcements. We were like, why?
They still got to tell us about how we're going to change our names, though.
I don't think that's happening.
A promise.
I bet you that does not happen until...
It wasn't promised.
It was promised at the next PSX.
They said they have an
said it would be
update.
nice.
No, I thought he said this time next year.
He said, I wouldn't be surprised if sometime within the next 12 months or whatever.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know what?
I'll look up the exact
Let's
word.
get that exact quote because it's a little silly. It's a little fluffy.
I would guess at this point, it probably won't be happening till PS5. It'll probably be a feature.
So I have a juicy question for the panel. Are we out of new PlayStation announcements that won't be PlayStation 5 games? Will the next new Sony Interactive Entertainment game announcement be a PlayStation 5 game?
At the very least, it will be cross-platform, I think. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
safe.
Yeah.
Huh. You think we're there? Blood, you don't think we're there?
I don't know if we're there yet. I mean, I think that they're still going to have games coming out for PS4 even somewhat after the PS5
Oh, I don't mean
is out.
exclusive. Oh, but you mean even like we get 3DS games right now that aren't on Switch. You mean that kind of thing. Yeah, that could be. Let me ask the same question for Xbox. I think it's even easier. Are there going to be any new Microsoft Studios announcements that are not next Xbox games?
Oh, yeah. I think they'll have new announcements that are just for Xbox One.
Really?
This upcoming event? Yeah, I think they will.
Okay.
I think it's a little too soon for like everything to be assumed to be for the next hardware.
Yeah. I guess we gotta settle that first.
Yeah.
Between 2019 and 2020, because that does change where you think these things are going and what would be announced. Do you think 2019 or 2020 for the next consoles?
I mean, well, when they're coming out,
Yeah.
I think end of 2019, early 2020 is probably when we'll see them. But I am buying more and more to the fact that I actually now think they are not going to pull any kind of support on the current gen consoles for longer. Actually,
Sure.
It sounds like everything they're saying is pointing to these Xbox One, PS4 will be supported for at least another 2, maybe 3 years. Doesn't matter if a new console comes out next fall. We're going to expect these games to be cross-platform for a while at the very least, or games are still be coming to them. We're not abandoning them just like yet.
What do you two think between 19 and 20? I gotta check every once in a while.
I think more leaning towards 20.
Do you think early
I feel
20 or
like-
late 20?
Late 20.
Johns, where are you?
I think
on
late
this?
whatever. Yeah, late 19 or late 20. I don't see that console coming out early in the year.
Yeah, either of them, right?
I think they'll want to get a good meaty E3 out of it.
Johns, I'm going to have you play the role of Sean Layden, please.
Wonderful.
This
I
is
hope we'll see
amazing.
events occur that you won't have to ask me that question next PSX. The elves at the North Pole have been working on it. He went on to say that the ability to change your PSN name is, quote, more complex than you think.
Hey, it might be
December
right.
2017.
If there's no PSX this
I'm
year,
sorry,
the
one
next
more
PSX.
time. I hope the events occur. I hope we'll see events occur that you won't have to ask me that question next
Next
episode.
PSX.
What
How can
happened?
you formulate a sentence like that?
Yeah.
You're doing 3 steps on that sentence to
Yeah,
even
wow.
make that come out of your
But
mouth.
canceling PSX, that falls right in line. He's
Yes,
like,
it
That is exactly the reason.
events
Yeah,
have occurred.
events have occurred.
That is why
You
PSX
can't
has been
ask
canceled.
it next
Sorry.
PSX.
Oh, God.
They just sat down. Lane's like, guys, I said this earlier. We have to still no PSX is here, please. We're not ready.
It's insane. The elves at the North Pole have been working on it. Implies to me there are people employed by Sony who've been working on this thing and can't figure it out. right?
Yeah.
Just sorry, boss, it's still impossible. It's like, okay, keep at it.
really-
is that what the process is?
Could we? Is there any developer who's been able to, like, allowed to speak on this issue? It just sounds like because it's tied back so far.
It's very clear what the problem
like
is,
yeah, the
actually.
PSN core
Yes.
like infrastructure to change it that way would just be like
someone on a forum said that there's a rumor that it would be able to change, but you'd have to like give up your rights to everything pre PS4 or some weird thing. I don't know how much truth there is to that. That was a rumor. But,
To me, it's dumb. I think what they would have to do is
I would
just
think you would
allow.
just add another layer. Like you have the
Yeah.
real name layer,
Yeah.
so why couldn't you just have a display name? And this thing is just
your
I
code.
think you
Yeah.
have a lot of people that say it didn't work. I don't have access to my games. A lot of people, oops, I misspelled it. I got to do it again. A lot of people, hey, it didn't work. Hey, this guy stole my account. And I think like whatever that support team is, they don't want to spend money on that.
Yeah, which is you know what?
Whoever
Fine.
you have to call to complain about that, they're like, we don't want to.
Like,
Not worth it.
Name changing to me is the least important aspect of any
Sure.
of this.
But the thing I was thinking though, I kind of think that like the reason we haven't heard that much about PSX being canceled is that like Sony has been kind of dodgy on whether they'll do it or not. And I think that possibly the reason XO18 has come up is that we've had third parties that are like, hey, we prepped this stuff for PSX and it's not happening. So
you almost see it as a sign that PSX isn't happening, that this is happening
Yeah.
when it is happening. That's interesting.
that they're just sweeping up the whatever trailers and stuff were going to be shown off at PSX.
Yeah. Keely scraps.
Because I think the way, and definitely correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the way that was worded, it sounded like the Mexico City Fan Fest was already a thing that was going to happen.
That's
And then they
interesting.
brought XO18 on top of that to like, oh, we're going to have a bunch of big announcements here now.
The way it's written, Blood, that does, I would believe you, because it doesn't seem like that is the announcement. It does seem, they seem to be focusing on this thing, the Inside Xbox, which you can watch on Mixer and all that. Yeah, that's interesting, Blood. I wonder if that's right. I wonder if they just doubled down on it really recently. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, that'll be interesting stuff to cover in November. Until then, we just keep wondering about next gen. I kind of love this time frame. I like that we have 3 different people with 3 different opinions about when that console's coming out. Both of them. I do agree with Damiani. At the very least, they're both coming out at the same time.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be second, and basically that's what happened with one
last
and
one, yeah.
PS4. That was the right thing to do with that. Even if one was rushed, I think one of those was rushed. You just can't be late to that party. Let's talk about Telltale. So if you don't know what happened to Telltale, I'm going to try to catch you up as succinctly as possible. Telltale Games is basically done. In the course of 1 week, a huge video game studio is essentially mostly almost entirely closed. I think upwards of 250 people were let go from the business. There's a lot to talk about in regards to how poorly run the studio was. I kind of don't want to cover that too much on the podcast. Basically, this poor studio had a bad boss or two. Basically, they tried to restructure in 2017.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like they changed management and the new guy's just been trying to clean up and
Couldn't. It was too
yeah.
late. Yeah, it was one of the founders. He was the CEO. He was voted out last year. Just like the board was like, hey, no, you know what? I shouldn't get into any of that. I shouldn't say anybody was like anything. But anyway, what I want to do with this episode is, hey, that sucks, right? A couple of games were canceled. Stranger Things canceled. Werewolf Within Season 2 straight out canceled.
Wolf Among Us.
Sorry, Wolf Among Us.
Stranger Things probably still happening, but from a different developer with Netflix producing and releasing it.
Thank you, Ian.
Is
Yeah,
what I've heard.
Netflix announced that, like, hey,
Yeah.
whatever, we're still doing our thing.
And yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, and Netflix is maybe they're still skeleton crewing Minecraft story mode for them.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that
it
is what the
sounds like
25 people are left on to do. And Ian, this I was just like learning about this stuff today. Basically, it's interactive Netflix, so it will remain like an interactive game, Minecraft story mode that you play through Netflix.
Which is something they've probably been wanting to do for a long time.
Yes. Yeah. And that's actually how they got Stranger Things as well, is they're just like shaking hands with Netflix. So yeah, it looks like some of that will work out. It looks like Telltale continues at least through that, but Again, this is stuff I don't want to talk about, but it's crushing. The people were not warned. The people who were working there were not warned. Within a half hour is what they told. Like, you have a half hour to leave the studio,
Which is insane.
It's insane.
And like their email was automatically shut off. Like, I guess like the second they were told.
Right. You cannot save your contacts. You go back to your computer. You're like locked out already.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Just how that was poorly handled. It's hard to imagine that management had no idea they would be closed immediately.
Yeah. Well, and the stories here about people that had just been hired like that week and like moved all the way across the country and hadn't even got a paycheck or whatever. It's just
and got to go back. But what I thought would be interesting would be to go through the history of Telltale, because it's not that old. Telltale Games is not that old. It's a pretty, relatively new studio.
I would say they've been around for quite a while.
Yeah, I guess. Well, but I think of they weren't there for the PS1 era. They weren't there for the PS2 era. They started 360 era.
But didn't they start a little bit before that?
Started in February 11th, 2005 is the first game from Telltale.
Okay.
Do you have any idea what that is?
That's still before 360, but
Yeah, it is.
what is that?
It's Telltale Texas Hold'em.
Nice.
Yep. And I had to click
First
on
game,
this.
putting their name in it.
Yes.
Go get it.
And yeah, it's so funny to do that. Basically, it's a bunch of fictional characters just playing poker. Eventually, we'll talk about it a little more. They carried on that theory. But yeah, that was their first game. It wasn't why the studio was created. The studio was created from former LucasArts people, 3 of them. LucasArts said in 2005, hey, we're done doing adventure games. We're done doing point-and-click adventure games. And so these 3 people left. They're like, hey, let's keep doing Sam and Max stuff. And so basically Telltale was created to do Sam and Max. They got that license, and they got the Bone license. You ever seen that cartoon character Bone, the one with the big nose? That was their second game. Bone, out from Boneville. That came out September 15th, 2005.
Is that just on PC, or what's that on?
That is simply on PC.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. And it was a standalone game, not episodic. Their first episodic game, I don't think anyone can guess this. CSI.
CSI.
Yes.
Wow.
CSI 3 Dimensions of Murder is their first ever episodic game.
3 dimensions.
I like
of murder.
that.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
CSI was huge. It's hard to remember. CSI was a big show. I wonder if in 2006 it started getting old. Who knows? That was March 21st, 2006, so almost a year after Telltale Poker, right? So that was the first one that had 5 episodes. That was their first episodic shot.
Wow.
We had a second Bone game the month after called Bone, the Great Cow Race. And then finally, Sam and Max Save the World launched October 17th, 2006. That had 6 episodes. All those came out. And that was Windows. That was Wii and Xbox 360. Did not know they had a Wii release.
I think I was at. I don't know. I for some reason I knew that. I don't remember why.
Yeah.
I might have been at something.
Yeah, it was cool they got that license. It was cool that they were able to obtain the Sam & Max license, which they had for a while. But I think that was a big launch for them to get to do their Sam & Max game. And I think they're establishing their repertoire. We know that, okay, they're capable of making adventure games at this point. Let's do another CSI game, CSI Hard Heaven. That's
I was hoping it was 4-dimensional.
That's September 25th, 2007, so a year after the last one. 5 episodes of that. Nice. I don't even know what those games look like. Do you think they resemble the people who are in the show? I guarantee they do.
Oh, of course. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is all over the place, yeah.
So then we get Sam & Max Beyond Time and Space. November 8th, 2007. So again, just a year later. And it's even closer when you consider that that first Sam & Max ended in April of 2007, and then only in November you get the next season, basically.
Real television.
Yeah. So that was 5 episodes. That came out on iOS, Windows, Mac OS, PlayStation 3, Wii, and Xbox 360. They're broadening. Feels good. And at that point, they wanted to pick up more licenses.
Oh yeah.
Can you guess any of the licenses they picked up here?
Well,
I don't know if
Strong Bad was really early.
Yes,
Yeah.
Wood. That was one of them. They picked up Strong Bad's cool
Yeah, I
game
did-
for attracted
I
people.
did
That
a
was one of
review
them.
I don't know if
something
it's
for
too
one of those.
soon yet.
Nice.
I don't know if we're too early. But the next few years they got Jurassic Park and Back to the Future.
We'll get there. It is
Yeah,
too early for
that's
that.
too early, yeah.
Wallace and Gromit they got.
Oh yeah, that was.
Whoa!
Yeah,
They locked down Wallace
I
and
saw that
Gromit.
at E3 or something.
They made a 4-episode series called Wallace and Gromit's
Yeah.
Grand Adventures.
Yep.
What in the world?
Yeah,
Yep.
that's iOS, Windows, and Xbox 360. Oh, sounds like you want to play that, Jones.
Well, I wonder how that looks like. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a very particular style. Not only obviously in just the shape of the characters, but just how it animates in stop motion. I wonder how that was translated.
I should mention also, Strong Bad had 5 episodes.
I mean, that to date is the only part of that I've ever met. It's the only Aardman anything. I wonder who wrote that. I'm assuming it's the same voice actor as Wallace, but that's the only Wallace and Gromit thing I have never absorbed. Like I didn't even know that existed.
Wait, I'm sorry. You were a huge secret Wallace and Gromit fan?
There's no secret. The secret's out. I love Wallace and Gromit dearly. Love.
What,
Yes.
Jones?
Yes. Creature Comforts is hilarious. If any of you have never seen Creature Comforts, so I wonder if that's on Amazon. Look that up.
You know what's frustrating to me is I think
So
being a
funny.
middle schooler and having somebody tell me Wallace and Gromit's funny and then watching it, it's like, what? It's
Yeah, you just
like-
kind of got to jump in.
It's just like a
It's an
dog
acqu-
and a guy.
It's an acquired taste, very mellow, but
Yeah.
just like some of the best animated slapstick comedy I've ever seen. Like just really, really great eyes. Like Wallace would be doing a monologue and Gromit would just kind of look at the camera and roll his eyes. And it's like, that was somebody with the little tweezers just literally moved his eyeball around and just so much personality
Oh,
in
dude.
those characters. And
Stop motion's ridiculous. The
you can even see like
perfection-
little
yeah.
fingerprints on them. It's like, it's a little rough around the edges, but just so over the top. With the wrong trousers especially. It's just
I honestly, I think
so
of
good.
I think of that and Nightmare every time I do a box peek and move the camera by accident, just like bump it.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, if I was working on Nightmare Before Christmas, like that we just lost a day. By
You know the
needing to
earthquake,
bump
right?
The camera. No,
That
what
they-
happened?
During Nightmare, there was an earthquake, and all of the animators were like at home, and like they all had collectively the same thing. Where it was just like, when they're like, "Oh, are you okay?" Damn. They're at home just asleep,
Yep.
and it's like they all, at
Yeah.
the same moment, we're like, "Damn, that's a week."
I absolutely get that. I absolutely 100% get that. So this next one's interesting because I can't remember. There was somebody who was like formerly LucasArts who was liking what they were doing. Oh, LucasArts had a weird transition where they're like, hey, we're cool with doing... There, I got it. Sorry, I'm just looking at the Wikipedia page right now. Daryl Rodriguez became CEO of LucasArts in 2008, and LucasArts suddenly is like, hey, adventure games are cool. Look at this area we're in. Again, because Telltale's having success making these games, and gives them... What franchise could LucasArts give
Indiana
Telltale?
Jones.
What franchise would LucasArts give Telltale?
Willow? There's not many.
Oh, I mean,
Adventure game, classic point and click.
the not Maniac.
Oh, you're so close.
The
Yeah.
other one.
No.
Sorry, Ian, what?
Full Throttle?
No,
The
close.
Dig?
You guys,
Space Quest.
our audience is
No.
going nuts
Oh,
right
no.
now. They are pulling their hair
Space
out.
Quest is not.
There's, yeah, this is going to Maniac.
What?
Data
Space Quest?
Tentacle. What's
No,
the
that's
one
Sierra.
after that?
Oh, that's Sierra. You're
Yeah.
right.
You are so close.
I know.
Classic point and
Lucas?
click.
Not Monkey Island.
It's a Monkey Island.
Oh, I said
Monkey
Monkey
Island.
Island.
When did you say Monkey Island?
Just like not, a couple guesses ago.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's Monkey Island.
All three of them?
Yeah. No, I mean they got the franchise, so
Oh,
they
right.
started making their own Monkey Island games. So they had that trust with LucasArts at that time that
Wow.
Telltale got to make Tales of Monkey Island games.
So much of this is just new to me. This is crazy.
Yeah, it's fun. So that was 2009, July of 2009. They got to do 5 episodes of Tales of Monkey Island.
Wow.
Yep, Telltale's got forward momentum here.
Is this just 3D? Do you have like screenshots of that? What does that look
Yeah,
like?
I think it's 3D.
Because they made some weird 3D Monkey Islands later on. We were like,
I think I might be one of
characters
those.
look odd.
I think
Yeah,
I
I
might be
wonder.
one of those, Jones. But hey, whatever. You got that license. Hey, we're doing well. How about another CSI game? CSI Deadly Intent. That is another year later, October 20th, 2009. Another 5 episodes. Hey, let's just make that CSI money. Back to Sam and Max, The Devil's Playhouse. We have another 5-episode series there, starting in April of 2010. Wow, 2010 is a big year. Next one we have is was original IP. So at this point they were trying out their own stuff, and they wouldn't commit to a 5-episode series. They're like, hey, let's just make one little short little game. It was called Nelson Tether's Puzzle Agent. Anyone?
I don't
Nope,
remember
nothing.
that.
Yeah,
no.
nothing
No.
on that. Absolutely. Yeah, that was a standalone game. Came out on PS3, iOS, Windows, Mac OS. Wow, weird that I skipped 360 on that. Wait, they've been skipping 360. Wow. Tales of Monkey Island, no 360 release? Come on, dudes. Okay, anyway. So we got those. We're doing great. It's 2010. It's another year. How about another CSI game? Fatal Conspiracy. CSI Fatal Conspiracy.
Each of these are 5 episodes?
Yeah, they're all 5 episodes. Are we at 4 now? I think we are. I think we're at 4 CSI games. Then we have another standalone interesting game called Poker Night at the Inventory. Do you remember these games?
Negative.
So these are nuts. These have, I should look at it clearly to see how many like weird franchises are in there. Yeah, okay. So it's got whatever the rabbit. I think the rabbit is Max of Sam and Max, right?
Oh,
Sam's
I think
the big
I
dog.
do remember this.
Yeah, so we got that. We have Tycho from Penny Arcade. We have the Heavy from Team Fortress 2, and we
Yeah.
have Strong Bad, all playing poker, and that's the game. And that's simply the game. And they're just, they're having attitudes, having a game. Yes, it is Max. Max is the rabbit. And yeah, that was it. And it was kind of interesting, actually. I think Texas Hold'em obviously was doing well at the time, but it was cool to see this kind of crossover of unique characters from other franchises and things like that. And I think like the Heavy from Team Fortress was most surprising because all those others have been in Telltale games at that point. Then, wow, really, 2010's a huge year. So Telltale made a deal with NBC Universal. Mm-hmm. Let's get some of your franchises. Let's do some stuff with that. What'd they get?
Back to the Future.
They got Back to the Future, Jones.
And Jurassic Park, as Damiani said.
And Jurassic Park. Mm-hmm. Yes. And Law and Order, baby.
gotta keep going.
And so, yeah, they switched. And then they have a game called Law and Order Legacies. But we
Just
should talk
one?
about... Sorry?
Just one Law and Order? We know that.
No, 7 episodes. 7 episodes of Law and Order Legacies. Man.
Wow.
So Back to the Future was a big one for them. At the time, their biggest release yet. This is the forward momentum's crazy at that point. So that's December 2010, ending in 2011 on June 23rd. Many consoles released that on that one.
I want some great CSI correction next week that we are missing out.
Yeah.
Some of the best
Missed
work.
3 CSI. Oh, yeah, that is actually cool games. Yeah, sure.
They're like not only best Telltale, but just best CSI. Really some curveballs in there.
Before Jurassic Park released, they tried Puzzle Agent again. Remember that game was called Nursely or something? Nelson Tethers Puzzle Agent. They cut. Good call. Get rid of Nelson Tethers out of your title. Just call it Puzzle Agent. So there's Puzzle
Especially
Agent
the
2.
beginning.
Yeah. Nelson Tethers Puzzle. Okay, so Puzzle Agent 2. Again, no idea. Standalone game. No consoles. That was iOS, Windows, and Mac OS X. So yeah, then Jurassic Park the game. That was 4 episodes, but I think that was not as well received as Back to the Future the game. I don't think that one
it was
huge.
weird. You weren't really sure what to make of Jurassic Park. Is this some weird kind of like side story, or are you focusing more on the novel? Mm-hmm. It was just like had some weird characters in there I didn't recognize, and just wasn't like.
I think that one was like famously glitchy when it came out too, like more than usual.
That was a very budget looking
yeah.
engine.
Yeah, way more than usual.
Important thing though, this Jurassic Park was actually a big pivotal moment for Telltale because that's the first one where we introduce QTEs.
Okay. Yes.
Jurassic Park the game is when they
okay.
start doing QTEs. They're transitioning out of strictly point and click to this kind of like choosy player game, make choices.
I remember having a lot of questions about like, what are we doing? You driving the Jeep around, or what are we?
Yeah.
Is it a mystery? Or are you surviving, or what? What characters are you playing as? And yeah, it wasn't really until like we got it and I was watching somebody play it that's like, okay.
Gosh, yeah.
I had no idea what
Set
this is
a
going to be
preview
like.
event for that.
It's cool. Law and Order Legacies came after that. A while after that. That's April 24th of 2012. So we're transitioning to 2012. 2011 was a big year. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that Law and Order was 2011. But 2012 is another pivotal year. This is, I think, the only year we've talked about so far that only has one game released. What game could be big enough to take up 2012?
Well, that's the first Walking Dead, right?
That's the first Walking Dead. And so that was huge. The Walking Dead, enormous for them.
We just like rolled right over Back to the Future.
Yeah.
We're done with Back to the Future.
Did you want to talk about it more?
Well, I had no frame of reference on Jurassic Park where I played Back to the Future. I didn't play all of it, but
Oh, cool.
I just remember because Jurassic Park, I was like, what is this? And then I finally saw it. I'm like, okay, this isn't for me. I don't necessarily want to do that with the story. And Back to the Future sold me on the concept like immediately. I think like just spoilers because it's like the first 5 minutes of the game, but I just loved that it sets it up, and I was like, oh, hadn't met AJ yet, so I'm just like, wow, the voice of Marty is really great.
Yeah, it is funny to think it was so good
and
too.
it's
yeah.
Doc, and I'm like, oh, this is really cool. And then they like set up the whole beginning, and they put Einstein in the car, and the car takes off, and then he's like, oh, and then the phone goes off, and it's just that moment where he grabs Marty and pulls him away, and the car comes back, nothing happens. He's just like, oh, look out, Marty, and they're like, what? And like, car's not back, and it's just like. I love that moment of Telltale telling you, here we go. Like,
that's fun.
Now we're everything you loved about Back to the Future, we've established, but now we're going to go over there. And I'm like, what a fun thing to do with the license. And it, even in the later days of Telltale, I was bummed, like to go into Game of Thrones, and I'd be like, how much fun would it be to be like, you know what? That character doesn't die. What? I'm going to take it over here.
Yeah.
And they just kind of seem to be safe with franchises after that. And I think Back to the Future was done. We knew we weren't getting any other movies, and so they could really come in and just kind of redesign the characters a little bit, play with the lore.
But like mastered the tone. The tone was perfect.
Yeah.
And they got Christopher Lloyd right
Yeah.
to do Doc.
I thought like how heavy was the involvement from like the Bob Gale and Robert Zemeckis. I thought they had some.
I don't know. Yeah.
I thought there was some involvement from like the team, like the Back to the Future team, like because it was a huge deal. Like I know The Walking Dead's always like been this is their biggest game. It like set everything off. Like going into Back to the Future, that seemed like was the biggest thing ever. Like it was that and like the Ghostbusters video game. Like these are gonna be true like continuations, official canon. We can't make movies anymore for various stories. Sorry, like Michael J. Fox unfortunately couldn't act at the time anymore. Ghostbusters like we couldn't agree everyone, and now like they're not all alive anymore. So it's like great
they got
solution.
Bill Murray for that game.
Yeah.
That was a huge deal.
Yeah, they got like almost everyone except for I think Moranis because he had retired.
They called it like a official sequel too, right?
Yeah.
They basically said it was
with the Ghostbusters.
3.
Yeah,
it was.
weird,
But like that was like a huge thing, and I remember playing the first episode. I was like, yeah, here we go. Like you could tell like the quality here, and it's kind of sad they never went back to that type of game after Walking Dead. Just like boom. Huge sales. Every game's gonna be Walking Dead now. I was like,
Bob Gale was a story consultant on the
nice.
game.
yeah.
Man, that's cool. That's really cool.
But I just hate like one of those catchphrases that just gets right under my skin whenever it happens. Is they're like, you thought you knew the true story, and you're like, stop it. Like, why do you have to like ruin the thing I already watched?
Yes.
Like, why do you have to be like you were lied to? Like I just didn't get that vibe from Back to the Future. It was
Right.
like, hey, you love that thing, you'll love this, and you can love both.
Yeah.
Like this can go off and mess with your head, but you understand why we're doing it. It's playful. It reminded me of it. It sounded like it, but it was its own thing enough for me to enjoy them separately.
Cool side fact, several of the concepts that Bob Gale and Robert Zemeckis had for the original Part 2, such as exploration of Prohibition era and Doc's family history, were reworked into the game.
Cool.
So they were like old ideas, like alternate ideas. That's neat.
I kind of you're selling me on the game right now, Jones.
Yeah.
And I think it's on current gen stuff. Actually, I think that was ported. Yeah,
And
it's on
also
PS4, Xbox One.
Biased because I know the guy, but one of the best celebrity impersonations I've ever heard in my entire life. AJ Lucasio was Michael J. Fox.
I wouldn't call it an
great
impersonation. I wouldn't
that
call
they
it.
brought Fox for later. I think it was in the last episode.
Yeah.
To come back and play the older Marty.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it impersonation. You know what I mean? Because he's like performing. He is living in that character. Yeah.
Specifically what
He calls it voice matching, right?
voice match.
voice match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but for voice matching, a lot of times you don't get to tell people you did that.
Yeah.
Like I'm voice matching like 5 words in a trailer, and as a viewer, like, oh, I heard that actor, and then whoop, for a second it wasn't them, and then back to the actor.
And you're trying to match a performance
Whereas this
that's already
is, like,
there. Yeah.
I know that's not them, and they're being brought in.
Yep.
Makes me wonder about CSI. How many people they had from the cast.
AJ actually, this is just a pointless aside. AJ brought me to meet Bob Gale one time. He's a super nice guy. It was about a book he wrote about high school. Sounded kind of strange, but
Wow.
yeah, Bob Gale was really nice to us. Cool stuff.
AJ Lucasio.
AJ
Look
Lucasio.
him up. Cool guy. Okay, so The Walking Dead happened. It happened in 2012. Had 5 episodes and a standalone game called 400 Days. I remember the trailer, but don't remember much about that.
I reviewed the
400 Days?
Yeah, it's like an intermission between, it connects to 2 games. It's basically a side story about the more survivors and stuff coming to like a survivors like encampment and stuff, and you see them all in the second season essentially. But it was more just like it was basically like, let's show you more of the world of The Walking Dead, and they will be seen in season 2. They made a much bigger deal of it than they ended up being in I felt in season 2. But
yeah, it felt heavily advertised. Walking Dead won the video game awards that year.
Yeah.
Remember that?
The VGAs, yeah.
The old VGAs? Man, that was crazy. To see a game like that, get or beat out other games that, have bigger budgets, have shooting and jumping and first-person shooting. I don't know. Just it was cool. It was cool to see Walking Dead get there.
No, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
It was.
Poker Night 2, next game.
Oh, yeah.
What?
That's huge.
Poker Night 2 is huge?
Oh, yeah, you got to follow up The Walking Dead with that.
Yeah, you got it. Listen, you're a huge follow-up. But what's kind of cool is they went nuttier with the people in this because Brock Sampson from Venture Brothers is in this. Ash from The Evil Dead is in there. And Claptrap and GLaDOS they're all playing poker. Yeah.
Okay.
Ash and Claptrap.
Yeah.
Poker.
And so, it was just kind of like a what? Okay. It was kind of, I don't know if the game actually did that well, but it was kind of a fun announcement.
What are Bruce Campbell's percentages on that?
He's not in there, actually.
I wonder if he had to get. Well, it's Ash, but I wonder if he had to. What if he had to give up his likeness over, or if he got to retain any of that?
Oh.
If they make little Ash action figures, I wonder if Bruce Campbell gets any of that.
Because it's so much him, the character. You mean? Yeah, I get what you mean. The Wolf Among Us was next. So The Wolf Among Us was actually part of the deal with The Walking Dead. They just got those 2 graphic novel franchises, So that came out on October 11th of 2013. So we're in 2013 now. Oh, we were with Poker Night.
The Wolf Among Us was Fables, right? It was like the
it's
first
based
part
on
of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. Fables is the name of the franchise.
Yeah,
right?
the franchise is Fables.
That was 5 episodes. Highly regarded as one of the best.
Yeah.
Walking Dead Season 2 is next in December of 2013. I got a tisk from Damiani. If I'm writing down what we've said, I got a TSK coming from Damiani's mouth. You didn't like Season 2?
Oh, I enjoyed it. I forget, blanking on the name now. Kenny?
Sure.
The guy with the
Yeah, he was the
hat?
intense guy. Yeah.
Yeah, like in my story, just in Season 2, what I did to him just seems so like not right. It didn't flow well with like what I'd seen before. Going into it, it's just like what everyone else seemed like this is like what it'd be like in Season 2. Kenny was just, to me, was just like, what are you?
No, Damiani, use more words. I have no idea what you're talking about. You said what they did to Kenny. What did they do to Kenny?
His personality and his actions seemed way different than I'd just seen him before. I know some time had gone by, but to me, he already went through a lot of shit in the first season. So Season 2, he was acting way different. Like, what else did you really like? I know you had to do what you did to your child. I know what happened with your, because of that. After.
Oh yeah, everybody's got to kill.
I'm trying to avoid spoilers here in case anyone's going back and play it.
We know coming into a Walking Dead game, some zombie children have to die. That's that's part of zombie life. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to be sensitive to people. Some people might be rushing to go play these now because they're being done.
Yeah.
But to me, Kenny's personality stuck out as doing like the biggest 180 to me. Maybe I need to replay it again, but as I was playing through it, I was just like, I like Kenny's character in the first season. What the hell's wrong with him in this season? I was like, bye, Kenny.
Interesting bit of gambling they were doing with every game. That like all it took was that just one moment, one character doing something you don't like. And you can remember that game, just like, oh yeah, that's that thing.
Jones, that's like TV writing too. It works the exact same. It's like,
Sure.
I love that show until they killed off, Barbara. It's like, what? Come on, still love that show.
I hated Barbara.
Nah, they got rid of Barbara. So those 2 series ran concurrently in 2013 because basically Wolf Among Us is October, Walking Dead Season 2 December, and so they both had 5 episodes, but they kind of like leapfrogged each other. Crazy year leading up to 2014 in the summer of. And I think we have a pretty established Telltale style at that point.
Yeah.
By the way, these are all using the same dumb engine. All of these games are using the Telltale engine. And so, it was basically, we're not there yet, but this is where I think we transition into the drag and drop franchise into the Telltale style. Obviously the games are good, the writing's good, the voice acting's good in all of these, but in terms of game design, there's a lot of copy and paste here going on because the next game, maybe you can guess this one. What was the next franchise they worked with here?
Borderlands?
Yeah, Jones. Nice.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So, 2014 November. So it's the end of 2014. Tales from the Borderlands launches. That's 5 episodes. That was a cool game.
That
That is a cool game, excuse me.
That is one of those games. I never played a minute of it, and I've just heard so many good things about that from people that love the series, don't love Borderlands 1 and 2, or like,
Yeah.
I loved Tales.
It's weird. It's
Yeah.
weird how good it is.
Really great, because there's a lot of great voice actors in there. You know, Troy's one of the leads, and like I've heard from people that like their performances, they're like, these were really weird characters for them to play, and
Yeah.
some really famous sequences from that, and I think one of the first, like, getting back to Back to the Future, like a comedy again, you know, like finally we can, like, Wolf Among Us has some really great odd moments in it, but it's, you know, there's murders, it's you know, it's kind of like you're bringing out the worst in these people, and so it was just nice to like have something super goofy and really unexpected, because you had sci-fi, and so you have, you know, weapons and gadgets are doing things you don't know, and characters jumping out of nowhere.
Do you know what came after that?
Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're doing great on guessing these.
Nice.
So Game of Thrones was next, and this is what I'm saying. This is like, oh, all right.
Yeah, didn't ask for that one, but
Just
sure.
yeah, exactly. That was 6 episodes.
Well, I think it was weird too, because it was like, I want to say that like they didn't quite get the theme song in there. Wasn't there something weird?
You don't
No,
need that
no,
thing,
they had music
but they
all
had
over that
like,
sucker.
and they had the likenesses of people.
No,
too.
I
thing-
thought that they
yeah.
had a weird thing with the music. I can't remember what it was.
Wow.
Anyway, it was just like, okay, let's just take another franchise in. What was the next franchise?
Maybe it was that they just
Batman?
like used the theme song over and over.
Not Batman. What came after?
Sure.
What came after Game of Thrones? You're close though, Damiani, but
Yeah, we're not the bad.
I had it.
you had it. It was
gone now.
Minecraft story.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
I did not.
Yeah, Telltale announced that, hey, we're doing a Minecraft game, and that was another huge success for them. Obviously, I don't want to say obviously. It takes they put work into it. You know, Patton Oswalt's in there. Like,
Yeah.
they wrote it and produced that game, and people like it. And so, yeah, that was a huge deal. Again, that Adventure Pass coming to Netflix.
Really had to do their own legwork there, because it's like that franchise is not handing you the story. Like, you not have to, like with Game of Thrones or something, where it's like, oh, well, what characters of this thing do we want to feature in there?
Yeah.
And it's like, there's no characters, not a lot of lore going on here. You kind of have to make all of this crazy stuff up on your own.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of cute. Walking Dead Michonne came next. That was 3 episodes, so like I think another in-betweener.
So we've got season 1,
Yep.
400 days.
Yes.
Season 2,
Yep.
Michonne.
In 2016 is Michonne. Yep.
Okay.
Also 2016, as Damiani said, Batman, the Telltale series. I remember that announcement, like, and recently, I just played those games this year.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, they're great.
I love
those
Batman.
Game Awards, man. I freaked out when I first saw that.
Oh, that was Game Awards, yeah. That was 5 episodes. Walking Dead, A New Frontier, 5 episodes. That's a whole season. Okay, that was in 2016. Guardians of the Galaxy, the Telltale series, it was 2017 of April. I played the first episode with Damiani. We had a good time, but we did not like that.
We're kind of confused about the context of the fight with Thanos.
Oh,
We're-
right. You
we're like,
played
how are they
Thanos in the
fighting?
first 2
Yeah.
minutes of that.
We're like, wait a second, what is going on here?
Just stop them, Thanos. It was just like, no, I'm going to punch Thanos. Yeah, I mean, that was announced as a Marvel cooperation first. And, like, yeah, I feel like at that point, it was wearing out, right? The excitement was, it wasn't like, oh, Telltale Marvel. It's like, okay, what? And, you know, just, it was weird. Minecraft Story Mode Season 2 came after that. Batman, Enemy Within. After that, Walking Dead Collection, I shouldn't count that. And so now we're at where we are today, where August 14th was episode 1 of the final season of The Walking Dead. And episode 2, I don't have the date on that, but it was basically the day before this. Day after.
no.
Day after this announcement happened.
Yeah,
That
it's
Telltale is
like-
shutting down.
Today that we're recording.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool. So that came out today, Blood? Today.
I believe so,
December
because
25th.
Huber said comes out today. He's not
Yeah.
streaming it until
So
later
2
this
days
week,
after
yeah.
the entire closure was announced. I had a really fun time talking about this list. I realized we are deep into this podcast. Yeah, I lost track of time talking about these Telltale games. I want to wrap that up though. I want to kind of shut that book. It's nuts. It's nuts because I think Telltale kind of established a unique genre of games. This character will remember that. I know it's not a genre, and I know there's plenty of other things that exist beyond it. I'm bummed out because I think someday another studio will capitalize on the work that they've put in. I think these kinds of games will continue.
Sure.
It's story-driven episodic games. They're super fun. They're interesting. You can do lots of interesting things with them. And it makes me so sad this studio's gone.
Yeah.
Makes me so sad. Walking Dead's gone, man.
I-
To really like. Obviously you've talked about so many things that they did before that, but just like have that be the game, it really puts them on the map. They're winning awards. They're telling their own story within the Walking Dead universe. It's not messing with anything else. They're creating this character that's so beloved, and was so fascinating to see this character grow and get older and meet other people and go through this world and survive this incredible scenario. And then finally, okay, we're gonna wrap this up. No, it's over. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, you know what? I should read the tweet.
just
Yeah,
textbook
have
how
you
to
heard
piss
the
your
latest
fans
on
off.
this, though? This is where it gets weird.
So this was yesterday, John. This is the annoying
real
tweet
weird.
from @Telltale Games. Hi, everyone. We have a Walking Dead update for you. Multiple potential partners have stepped forward to express interest in helping to see the final season through to completion. While we can't make any promises today, we are actively working towards a solution that will allow episodes 3 and 4 to be completed and released in some form. In the meantime, episode 2 will release tomorrow across all platforms as planned. We hope to have answers for your other questions soon. I don't like it. I
No,
don't
bad
like
vibes
that.
all around.
Yeah. It does feel like bad vibes.
Icky.
It feels like some other studio is going to pick it up and finish it. I mean, good on that studio, I guess. I guess that is the right thing to do. It's a bummer that the team who was working on it can't get the reward of that game's development.
Has there been any word on like someone just buying the rights to their engine or properties or anything?
That's the weird thing, Ian, is that like they're staying alive, and this is the legal stuff I don't want to get into, but they're getting
Yeah.
sued. It's just there's a lot of nasty stuff happening with
Oh, I didn't
this
know they were
closure.
getting sued. Too.
Oh yeah, this is.
Jeez.
Hogue wrote me an email and it's like, Hogue, I don't want to get into this stuff, man. It's Ian, it's nuts. I don't think they're for sale because I think the business has to stay open and for them not to have to do certain payouts and stuff like that.
And if it's in like litigation or whatever, they can't sell it or whatever. I'm sure.
Yeah. So yeah.
Jeez.
We'll see. I do think episodes 3 and 4 will come out eventually, actually, Johns. But I don't think it'll be the people who were making episodes 1 and 2. Is a weird part. Yeah, it's weird. Weird beginning to end. Like just the way that they're getting this momentum, making these games that they cared about. It's just it's such a bummer. It's such a bummer.
I think the thing that's interesting to me is when you went through each of those one by one, there was more in there that I've like felt positively about.
Yeah.
Whereas in the midst of it, I was just like, oh, another Telltale. It was like
exactly,
it just sort of felt like it had grown stale. But like, well, Tales from the Borderland was great. Batman was great. There was a lot of great stuff still happening.
I think Wolf Among Us Season 2 would have been highly regarded as well. Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like they were still good. It just felt like because there was such a constant flow of the same engine and the same style that it just kind of became background noise.
Yeah. Oh, I should read the tweet that came before it, Blood, because basically, yeah, you know what? It was like we didn't have the sales. You know what I mean? Sorry, everyone, we didn't have the sales. Which just, I'm not kidding. It's poor. It's poor.
I wonder-
Straight
Oh,
up
of course.
poor
You're
management.
waiting for the sales to finish a
Yes.
season of a thing? Like,
Well, that's the weird thing to me is like, because episode 1 of the final season of Walking Dead came out on August 14th, and the second episode's coming out today, which is September 25th. So that's like basically a month, and it's like you're releasing an episode every month, and the 2 final episodes aren't done enough to just say like, to at least just be like, here, take them, or like, with 3 more weeks, we can debug them and put them out. Like, I don't know how far. I wonder how far along episodes 3 and 4 were.
it's such a tight budget
I think
window,
I
man.
think
Like,
Ian, the way they
it's
describe
crazy.
their crunch, I don't think they're close to done.
Right.
episodes 3 and 4.
That's like
yeah.
terrifying to me.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like such a scary way to run a business.
The language from the closing tweet. We released some of our best content this year and received a tremendous amount of positive feedback, but ultimately, that did not translate to sales. With a heavy heart, we watch our friends leave today to spread our brand of storytelling across the games industry.
What sad person has to write these tweets?
You're right, Blood. I mean, there's not a good way to write that tweet, but man alive.
Well, and everyone's been fired, so
Yeah.
like,
Hey, hire.
Yeah.
Because that's their way of saying it. Like, okay, well, hey, all those people go spread our brand of storytelling across the oh.
Your crisis management. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, did y'all hear that? Sounds like it's podcast halftime.
The following are the official sponsors of Easy Allies for the month of September. 16-Bit Psych and Broke Astronaut, two brothers who are budding indie game developers. Check out their games, Stories in Stone, an RPG about exploring an ancient world and forging a bond with your wolf, and The Adventures of Clive McMulligan, a 2D retro-inspired action puzzle platformer with challenging gameplay. El Thanis. Imagine Bedding. Imagine Bedding is proud to help support the Allies. Every mattress is brand new and made to order. This means they won't start producing your mattress until your name is attached to it. For a limited time, all mattresses are 30% off with code EASY30 on their website, imaginebedding.com. They're also doing a giveaway this month where one lucky buyer will be entered into a drawing to win a Nintendo Switch with an official Pro Controller. See their website for more details. Imagine Bedding. Imagine good sleep. Hogue Law Business Law Firm. Whether you're starting a business at level 1, stuck fighting the dreaded fundraising boss, or finally cashing out with a well-earned high score, you need a good business lawyer at your side. Hogue Law brings more than a decade of experience forming and funding companies, negotiating contracts, and everything in between. At Hogue Law, it's always business law time. Check them out at hoeglaw.com or on Twitter at Hogue Law. Sweet Justice, a sound design company from the southern shores of the UK. They've worked on some of the biggest AAA titles, the most refreshing indie titles, and collaborated with the best development teams in the world. Mango. iKeyless. iKeyless.com is proud to sponsor Easy Allies. If you need a replacement car key or remote, use offer code EASYA at checkout for free shipping and 30% off of your order. And we have a switcheroo. Ooh. Beaten Down Brian, our lovely sponsor, would like to mention someone else.
Okay.
Can you do that?
Yes.
Okay.
They can say whatever they want to as long as it is okay to say, and this is very okay to say. Be Haunted, a graphic novel currently crowdfunding on Kickstarter. Written by Joey Donaldson and illustrated by Tuna, Be Haunted tells the story of Bee, a young actress struggling to find her spot on the stage and her place in the world. Bee's life takes an unexpected and paranormal twist when she finds herself haunted by a horde of ghosts. What do these ghosts want, and where did they come from? Check out BeHaunted.com or the link below to learn more and support this graphic novel. And that is Be Haunted, B-E-A, it's her name, Be, Haunted. And our mega sponsor, Greg the Dark Knight Kettering, would like to mention another property for the final month of September.
Final week.
Scorn, an atmospheric horror adventure currently in development at Ebb Software, set in a nightmarish universe of odd forms and somber tapestry. Go to scorn-game.com for more information. All of these links are available in the description. Thank you to our sponsors.
Dark Knight.
Dark Knight.
Oh, well played. Jones, it sounds so good to hear you say that again.
Thanks to Greg.
Yeah. Okay, so I had so much planned for this podcast. Let's just laser shot these, right? An hour after we finished recording the podcast last week, I checked my phone. PlayStation Classic has been announced. And I shouted a swear word. This is a product that has 20 PlayStation 1 games on it. It has 2 controllers. Neither of them have analog sticks. The 5 games announced so far: Final Fantasy VII, Jumping Flash, Ridge Racer Type 4, Tekken 3, and Wild Arms. That product costs $99.99. Okay.
Where are the games?
Where are the games? What others?
Right.
15 more to go.
I think every single podcast that you get this headline, the discussion is like, okay, what are the other must-haves? And to be honest, I'm not that interested. You know what I mean? It's just like, I guess I want to know if anybody here finds this to be an appealing product with the games that have been announced so far. Do you want a little PlayStation?
I mean, the product itself is fine, but I think, you know, when you look at the lineups on the NES and the Super NES, there's a lot there that finally will convince you, and this is just like, you know, how much was the NES when it first came out?
NES was $50, right?
So we went from 50
to
to 80.
I think it was 60 to 80. I think it was 60.
Okay,
$59.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
60 to 80, and now we're at 100.
With 20 games? You're coming at me with 20 games?
Yeah, but we don't. What are the games?
What are the games? I mean, Final Fantasy VII is huge. I bet the license for that was more expensive than Ridge Racer, right?
Yeah, but I mean, we had Final Fantasy 3 on the Super NES Classic as well.
Yeah, NES Classic was 60, and then Super was 80, I think.
Yeah, but it also had another Square game on there, right?
Which one?
Super NES.
Secret Amount of Final Fantasy 6.
Yeah. So we had those two. Plus we had Castlevania. And we had all kinds of stuff. And it's just and then the
Mega Man X,
nuclear
dude, yeah.
the nuclear was the Star Fox 2.
Reason I got it. It had
Yeah.
a game that was never released.
Yeah.
The sickest thing you could possibly have on such a product.
Whereas it's like right now it's like, okay, we got Final Fantasy 7, and then we got games that were like, okay, these were kind of cool. Oh, Tekken is also really good.
Tekken 3 is very good.
Yeah.
Jumping Flash is very good.
Yeah, Jumping Flash. I'm a huge dork. I've seen Jumping Flash
Yeah.
to be excited, and I wonder if that's for dorks like me,
Yeah.
for me to be like, oh, a little bit of everything.
But
you know,
I mean,
like some deep
we're
cuts,
talking about
some of the triple A's.
Crash, Spyro, Tony
course.
Hawk,
Yeah, you're
Metal
not
Gear,
getting those.
Castlevania. Like, there's a lot of stuff. Like you need the iconic PlayStation games.
Yeah.
And I realized that Tony Hawk is impossible. There's no way. There's too many licensing rights. But like,
Oh, because of the music.
yeah,
You're so
well, and
right.
Tony Hawk
Tony Hawk's
himself,
not
even,
coming?
yeah.
Oh, that hurts blood.
But
I thought there was a chance for Tony Hawk.
Metal Gear, Parappa, stuff like that. Like, why not?
Parappa's good. Metal Gear, I don't want to play that with a D-pad.
Well, sure. That's another problem.
Yeah, Gran Turismo, you playing that with a D-pad, blood?
Again, another problem.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Yes.
Why Gran Turismo should be on that thing.
I think it would have made more sense to launch
But
this
a Gran
product.
Turismo is another problem because it's the same thing. Like
Music licensing?
100 car licenses.
Oh, sure.
Or hundreds of car licenses.
I should
yeah.
say December
Yeah.
3rd is when that product is coming out.
Yeah, not announcing this with all 20 games is a huge mistake.
And it's coming out in December.
Massive
Yeah.
mistake. And I guess I can kind of understand where they're like, well, we want to have more headlines. You want to we'll do more 5, and then a month after that, we'll do 5 more. You're going to piss off your fans every time you announce more games. Every time.
Yeah.
None of those game announcements are going to be the majority positive. There's
this
no
is-
way.
this thing's gonna
Because the
sell
next
out
time
anyway,
they announce
right?
5, that's 10 that they're not announcing. Everyone's going to hate those 5. There's going to be a couple big ones in there that, well, okay, finally, I'm glad we got that. But what about Tony Hawk? Then they announce 4 more 5. What about Tony Hawk?
gotta be
Then
next
they
time.
announce
I'm
5
pre-ordering it
more
right-
finally. There's no Tony. And then that's when people are extremely going to rage out.
Because you're stringing them along each time.
Whereas
yeah.
you announce all 20, let
Yes.
everybody get it out of their system, be really upset about the stuff that
Yeah.
they didn't get. Then that'll quiet down a couple months later. By the time we finally get our hands on the product, we'll remember why we love the PlayStation. We'll get it in our hands. Look how adorable this thing is. I want it on my shelf. It's so easy. I can just pop in 7 or MGS or anything. And just play it. It looks so good because it's not
The thing to me
HDMI
that
now.
makes me worry about this is that it just smells kind of like what I think I mentioned it on here, but they announced that Commodore 64 thing, and then they've had the Atari ones and stuff as well.
Oh, the Atari one was weird. Yeah, you did talk about that thing.
Yeah, but the Commodore 64 one was the one where they announced it, and I'm like, oh, cool. And then I looked at the games, and I'm like, what are any of these games?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter how many games you have if they're just like the bottom of the barrel, stuff that you could afford. And that's what I'm worrying about here with the PlayStation. That there's just the games that people really want, they can't afford to put on this system.
Damiani, will this product sell out this year?
I think it will.
I think so too.
I think it will.
I think that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
It's going to probably
Yeah,
maybe sell
I
out
think people are
anyways,
just going to jump on it. I think it's
Yeah.
also partly due to what happened with the NES and Super Nintendo Classic. These are really big names. Yeah, I know Atari used to be a big name. I know Commodore used to be a big name, but PlayStation's still a big brand. PS1 is a huge fan following, a lot of nostalgia factor behind it. I think it is just guaranteed to sell it. I'm very curious, and I don't want to talk about what Wish would be on it or not. I'm more curious about what the regional differences. I'm positive there are going to
Sure,
be regional
Japan to Europe
differences.
to US, sure.
There'll be at least one game that's like on the Japanese version that no one else will get probably.
Yeah.
I'm trying to still figure it out. Also curious if we'll get Final Fantasy 8, since all the rumors about that being hard to bring other.
Yeah.
It's like if it comes out on this, it's like,
Why not?
oh, okay, because this is the PlayStation 1 game adaptation. They have that. They
Yeah.
just put it on it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's on PS3's PlayStation Store.
Have they specified whether this will play CDs or not?
It will not. It is
No,
smaller
there's
than a
no way.
CD, dude. It's so
Yeah.
tiny.
What would you think of play a CD?
Nostalgia factor.
Damiani, you got to see how small this thing is.
I
It's
saw the
super
comparison
tiny.
shots, but
Yeah.
CDs are still small. It's like,
No. What?
All right.
Maybe a game.
that was a bad
What are
attempt
you
at a joke,
talking
but
about?
that was one of the biggest things about the PlayStation was like,
Right.
you put music CD in there.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. You could take some PS1 CDs
How
and put
the-
them in a CD player and play the soundtrack.
What's up, Ian?
Oh, I was just gonna say maybe I missed you mentioning this, but I don't think because Castlevania Symphony of the Night would be the system seller for me, but I don't think it'll happen because of the rumors of Castlevania Requiem, the combo of.
Ian, I forgot you wanted to talk about it on this podcast. Drop it
I
right
just,
now.
I
Let's
just,
talk
well, I
about
just
Castlevania
thought it'd
Requiem.
be worth mentioning here because
Let's do it.
Castlevania Requiem, rated by the Korean rating thing and then the ESRB the other day, is a rumored combination Symphony of the Night and Rondo of Blood, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Coming to PS4. That's a rumor. So I don't think it would be on this if they're doing that, right?
I don't
Oh,
think
good
that's.
point.
I don't think that it makes it.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't
crosses
necessarily
out,
say
yeah.
no, but
I think the problem with Sunday Night ultimately will be maybe music licensing because that game gets flagged for anything.
Don't stream it.
Yeah, you can't
Oh,
stream it.
yeah?
You put it on
Yeah.
YouTube. It's like gets flagged. It's like
can you imagine if they?
uh-oh.
Well, I hope one of the other version of these is the one that had the Dreamcast level 2, the Secret Garden or whatever. But can you imagine if the Dreamcast version was on this PlayStation Classic? That'd
Oh,
be
the
nuts.
Dreamcast version of
That would
Of
be
Symphony of the Night.
that'd be so sick.
Dreamcast or Saturn version.
Oh, maybe Saturn. Yeah,
Sorry.
Saturn,
Saturn.
yeah,
these
Sorry,
things
sorry.
like Saturn.
Yeah, yeah.
Way more likely for Requiem. I would
Oh, for
love
sure.
I would love if this PlayStation thing has a Star Fox 2, has something that you couldn't
Yeah,
play
that's
before.
what
course.
that's like
Yeah.
one to
Yeah,
ask
that'd
because I'm
be
not as well
super
versed.
cool.
What is like the big unreleased game that was actually shown off and stuff?
Eco. How about like basically all they had done of Eco would be sick.
Did they have enough done?
They had a demo. They had something that was working that was like playable enough. How about
Okay.
something like that on that level? Like some prototype games. Prototype demos would be sick.
I mean,
The Final Fantasy VI demo.
oh yeah, that'd be.
yeah,
so
people
good.
people talked about. Well, that was. Yeah,
I watched that whole thing recently. It's actually
Yeah,
really impressive.
You're talking about
Yeah,
the
it's
silicon
really cool.
graphics.
Yeah, it's really nice like camera movements and things. Yeah, it's sick.
Yeah, that wasn't on any kind of consumer
Resident
hardware.
Evil
Yeah.
1.5.
1.5. Yeah, that's a good one. Resident Evil 1.5.
Yeah.
Anything.
Oh, that's another one.
Yeah.
Resident Evil has to be. That's huge.
They got to get one of those on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, man, we'll see. We'll
Yeah,
we'll
it's
keep making
interesting.
fun of it the more.
Yeah, Silent Hill
they
1
announce.
would be a good
Yep.
one.
Yeah.
Yep.
With a
That's the
D-pad.
thing. It's like there's a gigantic list of things that should be on there. That like more and more you talk about it and look at things like, oh yeah,
People play Tomb Raider with a D-pad, right? I guess you could do it.
Tomb Raider.
It's time for Love and Respect.
Love and respect.
Let's do a thunder round of Love and Respect. Yeah, you know, I wanted to talk about DMC microtransactions, but we're running way over. Allies, annoying, sleazy, useless. These are the words I would use to describe my least favorite video game character. A little orange pervert named Daxter. I was like, I'm reading through these. I'm like, okay, you got me. Let's do this. When I downloaded Jack 2 to my PS4 this month, I expected not just a nostalgia trip of platforming and open world driving, but a simple good versus evil storyline from a simpler time in the industry. I didn't realize, in this case, that simpler meant a bunch of crude and lousy jokes about a hyperactive rat creature who wants to hump every girl and mock everyone who's old or ugly. I can't believe I thought this guy was cool. And I'm grateful Naughty Dog and the industry in general have moved on to better things. Allies. Is this the dark side of going back to earlier games with fully produced narratives? Is the PlayStation Classic going to make us whine at what we thought was cool in the 90s and 2000s? Or did games hit their stride with high-budget storytelling much earlier than I realized? Thanks, Dominic.
I mean, this is true of like a lot of stuff. It's crazy
Yes.
for me to go back. There's so many movies I go back and watch now, and I'm like, this can't be the same film. Really, just because of its humor.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah, I call this the Friends syndrome. Like watching
Tell
that
us why
again.
it's called the Friends Syndrome.
That's just I coined that right now, but like, because watching that again, you're just like, oh damn, we've come a long way since the '90s.
I need more examples.
Oh, every episode is like gay panic, gender panic, like somebody's freaking out because a man hugged a man.
Like Joey and Chandler, they
all
hug
the
a
time.
lot.
No, yeah, but then they're like, whoa, 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 whoa.
You're right. Yeah. They get
Literally
like 2
every
seconds
episode,
of hug.
like
and then it's
every
like,
episode.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like pretty amazing. Also, everyone's white. You know,
Because stuff.
write your angry
just
comments.
Stuff
now.
still holds up. You know, there's still some things. One of the things that I've been fascinated by ever since I first heard it is the Bechdel test, where to have, if you're watching something, have two women had a conversation in that time about something other than men.
Yeah.
And so many films fail that. It's ridiculous. Like movies released now, you know, like even stuff like Black Panther. You're like, well, there it is. But like, it's just crazy to see, like, to watch 100 films came out in the 90s and like 2 of them have that. And
Box
you're like,
Peak fails the Bechdel
wow.
test.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
was looking at it. I was like, I failed. It's hard, man.
That's, like, yeah.
Shouldn't be though, right? Yeah.
So it's
Damn,
not just
that's
games.
Brutal.
What?
That's just brutal. That's even episode 7.
Stop that.
So-
My goodness. Moving on. Hi, allies. I think that Bandai Namco does not get enough credit. They are underrated. Love and respect. Devin. Thanks, Devin.
Sure.
Love and respect. Hello, allies. I have been a huge fan of your work since 2006, and I'm glad to see you still going strong on Patreon. Here's my question. What are each of the panelists' favorite video game genres? Like platformer, RPG, MMO, RTS, FPS, action, adventure, puzzle game, etc. And why? Keep up the excellent work. Love and respect. Adam Luno. What is your favorite genre, Jones?
Open world action adventure.
Hey, whoa, you got that locked and loaded, baby.
Yeah. If there's a place I want to go there, if there's a thing I want to fight it,
Cool.
I just want it. I want that world to be realized as far as you can go.
Bloodworth. Bloodworth.
Yeah, I would say action adventure as well. Not necessarily open world, but yeah, I think, the Zeldas, the Metroids, those parts of things that have crossed into Dark Souls, yeah.
Michael Damiani.
I do love platformers, but
Oh.
there aren't. Does it feel like there's this? I always felt like there was always more options with RPGs. It's always been a tug of war between platformer and RPG. I think I get the most pure pleasure from platformers, but because there hasn't been the greatest options at all times for that, whereas RPGs, like any year, it's like there's a really good RPG this year, at least, or 2 RPGs.
Give me
or
the
3
last
RPGs.
RPG you enjoyed, last platformer you enjoyed.
I mean, RPGs wide, so
Yep.
I mean Valkyria
Count it.
Chronicles.
Yep.
was-
Last
was
platformer you enjoyed?
And the last platformer I enjoyed was had platform elements in it, so I don't know if it was a pure platformer. It was like the Messengers Ninja Gaiden action platform.
Count it. That absolutely
Yeah.
counts. Yes.
So
Ian, favorite genre. I'm curious how you're going to answer this one.
Yeah, I mean the jerk answer is like good.
Yeah.
But no, I mean obviously there's Souls. But thinking through it, first-person puzzle games maybe.
Ooh.
Souls and first-person puzzle games, they're like tied.
Well, that's
and,
a good
and
genre.
2D platformers, but yeah, those are the ones.
Yeah, for me, it's third-person games where you have a jump button and you're exploring to find secrets. It's basically whatever genre you would call that.
yeah,
Like,
that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Action adventure.
yeah.
the Banjo-Kazooie genre.
Hey, allies, it's my birthday. If you read this out loud, it will be. I am doing that. And I
Happy
just wanted
birthday.
to say to those who worry about getting old, I am nearly in my 30s. And yesterday, I put popping candy in my mouth, then put energy drinks inside, and my mouth started frothing like crazy. Mm-hmm. You're only as old as you think you are. Play games, enjoy life, have fun, love and respect. Prototype J.
Love it.
Yeah.
So if you didn't read it out loud, it wouldn't have been his
Right, it's a
birthday.
quantum birthday.
Quantum entanglement.
I'm
yeah,
glad I was
it's real.
able to make it happen.
You
All right.
collapsed the wave function and made his birthday a reality.
Time for bets. Next week's bet is about Mega Man 11, which will be released on Tuesday, October 2nd. I'm going to the top 11 most recent reviews on OpenCritic.com. How many times will I see the word man?
Man.
Yeah.
99.
This is brutal.
Nice.
Couldn't go all.
Daniel Bloodworth?
Couldn't go triple.
76.
Oh.
Michael
Ooh.
Damiani.
Well, I took Jones's number and flipped it upside down. I actually did bet 66.
Oh, okay.
I took Jones's number, 99.
Oh no.
I'm so mad. I'm so mad.
Well, you're going to love this because I did the same thing
No!
that Damiani did. I did 66.
Okay.
Oh,
Whoa.
this is all 4 of us do 99.
Yeah, let me lock that in.
I should have done 1.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Well, we are the lowest.
You know what's funny?
Oh, yeah.
Very recently, I watched a show on FS1, this is a Fox Sports Network, called Lock It In. And the entire
Oh, I
hour-long
saw
show is they're just making bets.
Yeah.
It's my dream show. It's so fun. It's so fun.
Do you think they pulled a Seth Meyers and ripped us off?
Yeah.
I do not.
There's another one like
They
what,
did.
CSPN one like
Just kidding, I don't think he actually did
wager
that.
this or something.
ESPN has a betting show too.
There's something called like I'd wager this or something, and it's like
I do think it's funny. It's called Lock It In.
lock it.
I
yeah,
didn't
lock
invent
it
the
in.
phrase.
I
Lock
actually
it in.
think I saw like that on the TV, like when I was getting takeout today.
Nice.
Yeah.
I hope the show spreads. Basically, they have 3 people on the show every single day who make pretend bets with pretend money, and then they have a points total. It's like they're nasty
good.
with each other the way I wish this panel is nasty with each other. You know what I mean? I wish that after a bet, you're like, yeah, you suck. You know, just
The ESPN show may be called "I'll Take That Bet."
Yeah, there you go. I'll take that bet. There you go. That's what it's called.
that sounds like a good show too.
Yeah.
They're so degenerate. It's just a degenerate show. Last week's bet was about Valkyria Chronicles 4, which was released today, September 25th. How many guns would be on the back of the box? Jones, you bet 7. Ben bet 5. Huber bet 4. I bet 7. Ian bet 9. And so, I asked people on Twitter to send it in. It's always hard for me to, on a Tuesday, look at box art in person.
Yeah, I don't know what it looks like.
2 people sent them in. I disagreed with both people. Basically, I looked at the screenshots online that are on the back of the box so I could see them in full resolution and actually count how many guns would be in those screenshots.
Should show it to me. I could probably help clarify.
Okay, we're going to
Oh,
do
wow,
a
this
live
podcast just
clarification
got
with
10 minutes
Michael
longer.
Damiani.
There you go.
No, that's Valkyria Chronicles 1.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah,
She's got that weird drill
that was
sword.
Solaria.
Yeah.
That's the Valkyria.
All right, Damiani. Okay.
No,
good.
I'm like I'm gonna ask you a question if they show because I speculate there might be like the grenadier gun.
Yeah, I did
which
not
is-
count it.
Which is not a gun; it's a mortar.
Yeah, I did not count the
So-
mortar. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
Okay, so
So
Damiani.
she's holding a sniper rifle right there.
Yeah, so we do have to count that, of course.
Okay. He's in a tank, so he has no gun on him.
Right. There's
can't see
this
the
is what's his
clearly.
name? Lars?
No, there's no Lars in this. I can't
Sounds
see.
like
the
a
It's the guy who's got the attitude who grabs the butt.
That's Raz.
Raz. So Raz has a gun, and these 2 guys have a gun behind him. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
There is the sniper rifle again there. We don't count the mortar, so we're at 5. And then this one in the menu is 6.
Yeah, if I could say high res, I could clarify, but
Yep.
it's mainly this shot.
Oh, I pulled up
'cause-
that shot. I had a better resolution of that one too. It is. She's got her mortar there, but we have Kai's sniper rifle
Okay.
right there. That's 6.
All right.
That is the worst possible number we could have gotten. We have
Do you
3
count-
winners.
So, wait, do you count a Gatling gun as a gun? Because the tank, the Hoffen, has a Gatling gun on it.
What?
It can fire bullets.
Well, we said tanks didn't count last time, but if the tank has a gun on it,
You can de-equip it later by the stock version of it comes.
I don't see a gun on it though. I don't see the Gatling gun. I just
It
see a
goes
big old
right.
tank cannon.
Yeah, it does. I
know,
assure
I
you
know it
does.
has
Yeah,
that.
but you have to
Yes.
see it.
Yeah, you got to see that gun. I don't see it, dude.
Man, this
I
is the
think
first time
this-
I didn't answer 6 for one of these.
Yeah,
That's
I
my
mean,
go-to.
maybe that? I can't tell.
I checked it. I checked that screenshot, dude. I don't think I have the tab open still.
Because on other tanks, it's clearly visible the turret gun.
Yeah. I did what I
All right.
could to not get the number 6, believe me. So we have 3 winners. Jones, you win. Ben wins, and I win.
God!
Yeah. Basically, we just separate ourselves further from poor Ian. So Red Grouse now has 12 points. Gorgeous Gorillas 20. Droopy Eagles 12. Switcher Snakes 6. Let me tell you about patreon.com/Easy Allies. That is the URL to find out how you could support the Easy Allies, this group of people, plus we make videos about video games, we make live streams, we do reviews, we do previews, we do silly things, we do serious things. It is a fun YouTube channel to follow. It is a fun group to follow. Please do. Cool. We have to find out if Marvin survived.
Oh, jeez.
Here we go, buddy. I kind of want him to survive. I think he'd be a good villain. Marvin, if you forgot, which makes sense, it's been a long podcast. This was the wizard who had a magic marker, who anything he draws comes into existence and functions, but he's a bad artist, and so it's hard to tell how to use these things. He died.
I love like just the thoughtful description.
Yeah.
That's it. Yep.
So that's the thing is like I feel bad. they're very thoughtful like submissions every week too.
Yeah.
It's like a really fun, I think, writing exercise, writing prompt, I guess, because we get so many creative things every single week. I don't feel too bad about killing them off because it is just a writing prompt. We get so many actually like valuable characters who would be great in any fiction. Keep your characters. We have to draft the rights and responsibilities. So, Damiani, Blood, you're in Ben's seat. So you get the first pick of final word, thing you want to promote, Twitter handle, or sign off. There's that musical.
There's
on.
that musical on.
That's
yeah.
good.
I'll do the video, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, Jones, what do you want?
I'll do sign off.
Oh, I want sign off.
Okay, I'll give you sign off. You want sign off? I'll give you sign
No, I
off.
want final word. I'll take final word.
Oh, all right. I'll
Cool.
do sign
Sure.
off then.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got sign off. I take final word, and then it goes back to Blood again
Good.
for Twitter handle.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, man.
Oh, my Twitter handle is @dbloodworth2.
And the video you want to promote.
And then for video, check out my Little Dragons Cafe review.
Nice, dude. Yeah.
This has come full circle. I saw the game at GDC. I did a lengthy preview a few months later, and now the review did not come out as well as I had hoped for the.
The game did
actual
not come
game.
out as well for
Yeah.
review. Your review is excellent.
Sure.
Yeah. Good vid.
But so check that out.
Final word is I want to talk. I've been thinking about voting. These things I think about. So I didn't used to vote because it is pointless. And so what is so weird is I think that anybody listening to the podcast, I can tell you if you vote, it won't matter. And that's the weirdest thing in the world because since I have started voting, I enjoy it. It feels good. And that's what I want to communicate to the people who don't vote is, yeah, it's true. It doesn't matter. You are statistically insignificant. And it's so weird. It's like you have to, the collective consciousness has to buy into this feeling. Otherwise, there's no point anyone, it's nuts to me. I think about this stuff a lot. What I want to communicate to you with my final word is that it's worth it. It feels fun to vote. It feels fun to input yourself like into decision making, I guess. It feels as good as writing a negative comment. That's like the rush that I get after voting. It's like I did it. Like I let them know. I let them know. And so I realize there are many of you listening to this podcast who will not vote. You thought the same things I thought. But I want to say I've been there where you are, and it's so worth it. It feels good. You do have an impact in your own small way because we exist in this giant. We're a speck in this universe. We're a nasty little speck that's just gonna die, but it feels right. It feels like a good thing to do. Brennan Jones, take it away.
My trademark sign off. Your vote matters. What do you mean you let him out? Turned out to be a koala.
The Easy Allies would like to thank our Patreon podcast producers. We apologize in advance for all the ally names we are about to misspell and mispronounce. Greg the Dark Knight Kettering, 16-Bit Psych and Broke Astronaut, Beaten Down Brian, Ebb Software, Elphanis, Hogue Law, iKeyless, Imagine Betting, Mango, Sweet Justice, Alex AI, Blue, Jojo Denko, Caleb Crawford, Jesse Vitelli, Rob Middledorp, Dale Sun, Nick, Walker Hope, Sam G, Cameron Hendry, Will Schmuck, Mark Dalga, Gabriel Heilborn, Bradley Spees, Professor Metal Gear, Paolo Costabel, Jake Musser, Richard G. Flowers, Dave Red, Zachary Wingate, Jan Tyson, Ken Layer, Corey Jackson, Demos Clay, Dan Sebring, Silent Consonant, Andrew Reif, Sigma, Tim O'Keefe, Ethan R.C., Mick Roper, Robert Stoffel, Cody Harden, Richard Smuts, Sean German Efficiency Clinton, Mylene LaPearl Vanass, Anti-Ataraxia, Michael Bisegli, Ali Cat, Chum Nguyen, Discarded Digit, Thomas Wigginton Jr., Neil Bruce, Matthew Pauling, Gino Elite, James Vitt, Jason A. Sackle, Luke Bennett, Candy Coated Thorns, 44 Stars, Lore Wright, G. Levin, G. Ken, Santosh Jackson, Stephen Thomason, Yasser Kerbushi, Hitman 47, Ryan Anderson, Colt Doss, Paul Nolson, Jay Shee, Marcel Giru 17 Froelich, Yang Lee, Samson Stormbaum, XWF Outlaw, Phoenix Doss, Niz Klojgard, Andrew Kidd, Peter Davis, Emil Val, Mr. M, Rack, Brad Lohman, Simon Anderson, Noah Weinstein, Malflax, Sebastian Olson, Tim Strothman, DRD 7 of 14, Brad Grenz, Todd Yurkovic, Joe Burns, Patrick Chong, Sam Handrick, Lars Berger, Jordan Kirk, Stephen Last, Ahmad Naki, Gerald Reeves, The Banana Forklift Killer, Joachim Morovuo, Miguel Rivas, Calvin Hartanto, Marcel Markov, Mark J. Betters II, David Wen, Jesper Lawson, Oni Blackmage, Matthew Holcomb, Daryl Schramm, Brent Phillips, Marius Smith, Catherine Lai, Gary James, John Santoro, Robert Crouch, Kit Snow, Mikhail Aniel, Ulf himself, Rainier Dennis Bautista, Max Harms, Wavering Radiant, Trenton Robinson, Scott Adams, V8 Dave, Leroy Anderson, Janny Markula, Ritz 1906, Eric Gustafson, Fabian Schuster, Toasty Soul, Christian Hundorf, Alex Lavanier, Tony Knox, Adam Damon, Tars Fomars, Isun Chor, Forrest, Caleb Ledoux, Mike Hook 1, George D. Snyder, Brian Vilar, Mauricio Fuentes, Quick Scares, Ian Ladarzik, Brian Foster, The Classiest Hobo, Bryce Hornsby, Burwa Hama Mahmud, Zintrax, Corey Landega, Modrin, Paul Bishop, Sean Smith, Travis Miosi, Carl Williams, Jalen Scott, Nick Waterman, Brandon White, Matt McCarthy, Sean Mackey, Gabriel Aberg, Morpheus, Yasser Aluseni, Jonas Andreas Sibison, Sean M. Gabaldon, Reed Johnson, Nergal 131, Manuel Thomas, Peter Wen, Robert Olson, Adam Scherenbrock, Not Jack, Kurzistav Rogowski, Volker Bach, Jake McEnroy, Blake Bonsack, Sean De Almeida, Jeremy Ferris, Saturn, Cisco Ace Jackson Garcia, Daniel Mogo Sanchez, Kiraz, Jacob Whittington, Jason Ward, Robert Aresti, Wouter DeHaze, Matthew Holmes, Settling Geek, Eric Maynard, Fabian Winkler, Michael Wilson, General Piet, Trey Thompson, Leon Keys, Mugen Hamura, Raymond Lee, Clay Roberts, Adam Lindsay, Shiana Metz, Todd Paxton, Faraz Rizvi, Andreas Bard, Jeff Easton, Dakota Hayes, Zoostick, Don Turner, Mumble Mumbleton, Masuki 211, Amanda, Alexander Zirianov, Jesse Fish, Jason Joint, Edison S. Prada Jr., Alexander Breveglieri, Travis Ing, Ahmad Al-Rashed, Bud Puddin, Tuttle, Furious Action Gamer, Stuart Siddall, Michael Shriver, G-Sith, Mac Reed, Haley Hill, Andrew Stoke, Simonize 23, Matt Gunther, There Is No Dana, Only Zool, Emmett Eng, Joshua Vanswall, Allison Douglas, Bites and Brews, 1D10 The Show, Sebastian Trier, Aurelian Grenier, Bonnie and Jason Connor, Wenbo Shan, Jeffrey Daniel Lasley, Stephen Walther, Rock Gordon, Matt, Carlos Zuniga, Diggles, Ryan Cohen, Link 666 Goron, Terrence Ireland, Ibrahim Sozer, Momo Rashid, Paul Sway, Rickard Enbaum, Michael Clendenan, S. Snake 24, Carolus Zaidzelis, Lee Young, Timo Yeager, Lindsay Wells, Hayden Hargraves, Calgareth, Eddie Reisner, Mikkel Hervel Nemo, Chase Caldwell, Palkin Stirs and Stirs, Jeffrey Ruchtenwald, Barry, Mikey Mizek Novak, Adam Henry, Ms. Racy, Beautiful Kai, Hudson Bilbrey, Sean Rowe, Ronnie Halperin, Caffeine Rage, David Kennedy, John Burns, Durgesh Patel, Michael Lay, Mike Calvi, Sarah, Me M, Gary Fair, Anthony Daniel Galvin, Toro DK, Daniel Wong, Hadi Ali, Jamison Anderson, Vincent Foliat, Hutchitron, Ahab, Neobear, Sven Von Brand, Matthew Migler, Santiago Carrillo, Alex Glass, Junya Motomura, Ryan Ponder, Delisi, Mither Strongbeard, Daniel Data, Nycrypt, Mons Anderson, Elvin Skogheim, Jay Aliar, Morgan Worth, Sam Sorensen, Awesome Express, Zrael, Matt Ferguson, Michael Tenick, Felipe Aguilera, William Heaney, Krister Lundmark, Tim Mann, Brian Everett, Chris the Pianist, Damnable Nook, Michelle Nubb, Michael Stevens, Sandra and Richard Acero, Andrew Smith, Battleox, Pablo Rodriguez, Matthew Colomb, Mick Malloy, Philip Klarskov Jensen, Sun Fan, David Amaro, Alex Monaco, Arthur Henrique Chinaglia, Cody Wesley, Nathan Hermanson, Zach Kaczynski, Nuno Amaral, David Boyarsky, Rahiv Maharaj, Pete Cerny, Joachim Wiederberg, Christopher Santos, Andreas Koter, Extravaganza, Christian Larson, Gali Gutierrez, Chris LaRue, The Fatty Show, Jason Shields, Rickster EXE, Sud Al-Masafir, Monica, Jonas Sekula, Remy Loisel, Michael Kozachenko, Pete Shoemaker, Sergio Ruben Hernandez Gallegos, Ripus Idud, Irvin De La Torre, Cyberboa, Christoph Fatui, Azazel Valkyrie, GW Fox, Jan Hildebrandt, Mazrim Tame, Chris Bennett, Liam Ahern, Crediar, Self-Confessed Cynic, A Pack of Puppies, Robert Woltz, V. Cura Ray, Tristan Howard, Jason I, Andrea, Sean Cornett, Jeremiah Snowden, Materia Addict, Robert I, Will Arrowwood, Blastermaster, Gustav Strombaum, Christoph Packlinger, Thomas Mullins, Kane Morton, Nefertiti Jenkins, Malcolm Moschette, Adam, Anthony Reidel, Cal, Joel Olson, Justin Chang, Robert Ori Einerson, Christopher Donnelly, Matt Karwoski, Patrick, Trevor Thomas, Joel Short, Marco Hernandez, Magnus Rasmussen, Clinton Hayes, Sayun Kim, Struggler, Randall Crittenden, Jose Gutierrez, Tense George, Dominic Brown, Sal Ramon, Chad McIntosh, Bunny Chen, Matt Surinami, Joey and Kate, Raymond Chow, Leaf Johnson, Ian Anderson, Zahid Hosseini Karami, DanPan16, C.S. Lewis, Hasni, Oru Gachino, Skender Yashari, Jana, Roy Sung, Kim Monk Vonderleith Haagensen Petersen, Colin Hoyleman, Reed Marlett, Thorfkin, Ali Khan Sunger, Matthew Robles, Shanley Ladia, Rerun, Linson Wu, Luis Ibarra, Brandon Robinson, Philip Higdon, James Brown, Neuromod, Russell Bateman, BM5, Elliot Moscow, Richard Gunther, Daniel Fuchs, Ivan Ponce, Jay Potter, Tolls JTJ, Christopher A. Butler, Ian Bradburn, John Prey, Sean Essen, John Zalet, Kenny Barnes, Sebastian K. Urban, Marco Zanone, Alec Church, Culinary Stud.